Alright folks, gather around, because today we're diving into the most terrifying species in the Warhammer 40k universe. The Tyranids. If you thought your last family dinner was overwhelming, try having a Tyranid horde show up uninvited. These guys are basically the galaxy's worst buffet crashers, and they always come hungry. So to start out, what even are Tyranids? They're a swarm of alien organisms bent on devouring everything in their path. Imagine a giant cosmic locust swarm that doesn't just munch on your crops, but will happily devour your entire planet. Soil, atmosphere, and all. They don't just want to eat, they want to consume and assimilate everything. It's like they're taking eat your vegetables to a galactic level. Tyranids come from the void beyond the galaxy, and they travel through space in massive bioships that look like something straight out of your nightmares. And that's if those nightmares were made of chitin and teeth. They're the ultimate junk food fiends, and when they arrive, they don't believe in takeout. They believe in all you can eat. Now, the Tyranids are unique because they operate under a collective conscience known as the hive mind. Picture a cosmic conference call where every single Tyranid is on the line, and they're all shouting, "We're hungry, we're hungry, we're hungry." The hive mind is their overlord, guiding them with the psychic connection that's about as organized as a family reunion potluck, where everyone brings potato salad. The cool part? The hive mind isn't just a single being. It's like a supercomputer made of flesh and teeth. It directs the Tyranids with a terrifying efficiency. So while the rest of the galaxy is figuring out lunch plans, the Tyranids are strategizing how to turn planets into unrecognizable mush. To complement their hive mind, Tyranids come in various shapes and sizes, from tiny rippers, think space cockroaches, to towering carnifexes, which are basically a walking dumpster with claws. Their diversity is a key part of their strategy. Each type of Tyranid has a specific role, kind of like a sports team where everyone is super into crushing everything in sight. Now let's explain some of the Tyranid bioforms. Not every single one of them, because just like my Dreadnought video, there's too many. There's way too many of these bugs. Anyways, let's start with the Rippers. These little guys are the annoying pest of the Tyranid swarm. Think of them as the space equivalent of cockroaches. Rippers are tiny, fast, and absolutely relentless. They scuttle around, chomping on anything that looks remotely edible, which is basically everything. Imagine a swarm of these critters at a picnic, ready to devour your potato salad before you can even say, "Hey, don't eat that potato salad, it's my potato salad." And if you think you can step on one, think again. They're practically indestructible. Rippers are like the toddlers of the Tyranid family, always hungry and utterly fearless. Just when you think you've cleaned up after them, they reproduce like it's their job. Well, because it is. Next up, we have the Hormagaunts, the speedy and agile infantry of the Tyranid swarm. If Rippers were toddlers, these Hormagaunts are the hyperactive teenagers with way too much caffeine and sugar in their systems. These creatures are fast, equipped with claws that can shred through armor like it's made of butter. Bet you haven't heard that one before. And they'll be the first ones at your front door when the invasion begins. Imagine trying to defend your house from a pack of these guys while they're screaming and climbing up your walls like rabid squirrels. They're the quick and nimble attackers that will give you nightmares about your next Dungeons & Dragons game, where the dice just won't roll in your favor. The Termagants are the standard ranged infantry of the Tyranids, armed with living weapons that fire bio-ammo. Picture a squad of them marching towards you, their guns embedded into their bodies, while they chant, "We come in peace." Yeah, right. These guys are basically the baristas of the Tyranid army, spitting out bullets faster than you could say extra foam, please. When you see a horde of Termagants coming at you, it's just like being caught in a fast food drive-thru where they forgot your order but still expect a tip. Just remember, they don't take credit cards or prisoners. But before I move on, I have a very important announcement. You better like and subscribe, or else your family might start growing extra limbs and starting to worship an evil cosmic entity beyond what your mind can comprehend. Thank you, and back to the video. Now we come to the Gene Stealers, the Tyranids' sneak attack specialists. They're little sneaky boys. These stealthy aliens have a unique ability to infiltrate other species and corrupt them within, especially turning your friends and family into Tyranid hybrid monsters. They're like that friend who brings a board game to a party, but instead of Monopoly, it's a horrific invasion plan. Gene Stealers are fast, agile, and come with some serious hand-to-hand combat skills, I guess you could say. Think of them as the ninjas of the Tyranid world, darting around corners, taking down unsuspecting foes, and leaving you wondering, what just happened to my squad? They're the ultimate party crashers, and before you know it, everyone in your group is starting to worship the Tyranids. Now let's talk about the Carnifexes, the beefy and big, heavy hitters of the Tyranid swarm. These hulking monstrosities are like walking tanks with claws and spikes that can cleave a tank in half as if it were a piece of paper. Imagine one of these charging towards you, and you'll understand why they don't need a gym membership. With their massive size and strength, Carnifexes are the bouncers of the Tyranid hive. They literally do not take no for an answer, and they will gladly stomp you into the ground. Think of them as the Hulk smash version of the Tyranids, and good luck trying to convince them that there's a better way to resolve conflicts without violence. Now we have Zoanthropes, the psychic heavy hitters of the Tyranid swarm. They float around with their big, bulbous heads and psychic powers, making them look like the result of a bizarre science experiment gone wrong. Picture them as the smart kids and nerds of the Tyranids, always ready to read your mind and then melt it at the same time. Zoanthropes are all about those psychic attacks and lightning bolts, blasting enemies with warp energy and making you feel like you just failed your last brain exam. If you ever see one, just remember, you're probably on the receiving end of the most devastating cosmic brain freeze ever. Next up, we have the Hive Tyrant, the charismatic leader of the Tyranid swarms. These are the big bosses, the ones who orchestrate the whole chaotic invasion. If Tyranids are a rock band, the Hive Tyrant is the lead singer, complete with a massive cape made out of God knows what, glowing eyes, and an attitude that says, "Let's get this party started, baby!" Hive Tyrants can control smaller Tyranids and act as the brain behind the swarm. They're like the annoying motivational speaker at a corporate retreat, but instead of boring team building exercises, they're rallying the troops for mass annihilation. When you hear a Hive Tyrant shout whatever it's saying, because you probably can't understand alien speech, but he's probably saying, "Let's go team," you know it's not going to end well. The Hierophant Biotitan. Finally, we reach the big boy, the grand finale, the Tyranid Hierophant Biotitan. The Hierophant is a massive, and I mean massive, bioform that towers over the battlefield, a colossal creature that represents the Tyranids' terrifying evolution. Imagine a monster that's a cross between a whale and a nightmare. It's like a living artillery platform, equipped with biocannons that can unleash a devastation on a planetary scale. The Hierophant serves as a mobile command center for the Tyranids, controlling the swarm while also being a frickin' tank. It's like if a tank and a church all of a sudden started growing masses of flesh all around, and then they just grew teeth. This is how you'd get the Hierophant Biotitan. Now, if you see one of these lumbering toward you, you better start praying to whatever god you believe in. You better hope the Emperor responds, because that is the only hope you have left. As it stomps through the landscape, utterly destroying fortresses in its wake, it creates chaos and destruction. While its very presence inspires other Tyranids to fight harder. It's like the homecoming queen of the Tyranid hive. Everyone wants to be around them, and everyone wants to look good in its shadow, even if it means sacrificing a few 100,000 Hormagaunts or other small Tyranid types. Now, the Tyranids have one simple strategy. Just overwhelm the enemy. They're the cosmic equivalent of a toddler having a tantrum in a candy store. More is better after all. Their tactics are to flood a planet with waves of their smaller creatures like a flash mob, but way more destructive and with fewer dance moves. When they invade, it's not like a slow invasion. It's an instant party of doom. One minute you're enjoying a nice evening, and the next you're getting eaten by Tyranids that didn't get the knock before entering the memo. And forget about defenses, they'll just chew right through them like a hungry kid at a pizza party. Now you might be wondering, what exactly happens to the planets they invade? Well, once they have consumed everything, they leave behind a barren wasteland. Think of it as the ultimate no leftovers policy. They don't just eat the food, they consume the entire ecosystem, turning lush worlds into desolate husks. It's like throwing a party and then trashing the house, but instead of just cleaning up, they decide to bulldoze it and then turn it into a parking lot. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Tyranids are not just a swarm of generic aliens. They're a diverse and horrifying armor of very scary biological nightmares, each with an independent role to play, from Rippers to the mighty Hierophant Biotitan. Every single bioform adds to the chaos and hilarity of the Tyranid invasion. Now remember, the next time you hear someone mention the Tyranids, just be glad they're not showing up at your next family dinner. With their appetite, you'd be lucky to keep just the mashed potatoes.